Hi subscribers, it's Dale, Sailing Vessel Escape TARDIS. It has been almost a year and a half since I posted any meaningful content on this channel, and I just want to let you know I haven't given up on the channel. I have still been videoing. I didn't have the bandwidth to do any editing, so I've built up more and more video backlog. So here we are today. I have made you a little video to kind of fill in the gap. But once again, the purpose of this channel is to entertain a little bit, but mostly to help people look at their projects from a perspective of it can be solved, even if I don't have a solution. And the way that I do things generally is inventing things, because all of this are brand new to me. They're not anything that many of them that I can look up in a book. So I'm hoping that somebody gets something out of this channel. This particular video is just kind of an entertainment. It's still along those lines, but it doesn't have anything to do with the boat. Here we have a coconut. I just picked this off of a tree. It was right at the side of the swamp road coming out here. I've never opened a mature coconut like this before. The traditional way is to lop off chunks of it with a machete. I am worried that my control with this machete isn't what the natives here are. I haven't been using a machete much of my life. And I frankly kind of fond of my fingers. I'd like to have them after lunch. So, power tools. Let's see what happens here. I think that's, yeah, the shell's kind of in a little hole down in there.
The physical altercation that Ms. Hutchinson described in the presidential vehicle
Make a mess.
The first time that the president
It's the wrong place to hold it.
became very angry about issues relating to the election. On December 20, Attorney General said in an interview that Ms. Hutchinson, how did the president react to hearing that news?
Okay, I was able to stand this thing on the back side and get a little bit of a chop there safely. Now I can saw on it a little bit. I don't know if this is going to work. I'm just afraid that the Sawzall is going to cut into the shell of the coconut and ruin everything I'm doing. Thumb out of the way. I don't think this is the way the natives do it. I was listening to the congressional hearings and just had to stop. I couldn't listen to that in the background and continue to focus on keeping my fingers safe. Oh, some wedges or something I can stick in there. So we can't just shear that off a little bit. Oh yeah, okay. No, that ain't coming with one. This should be pretty easy to cut. You know, I think I'll put a cutting board down, and then I can use the tip and keep it tipped down, and then if it breaks loose, the tip will hit the cutting board like that. That's a better solution. Making a dent in it. Some idea how far in there I have to go. That sounds promising. That looks like shell right there. Okay. See, this inner stuff is really soft. The consistency of balsa wood. Oh. So why did I quit using the Sawzall? Because I was afraid if it ever touched the nut, it'd be like a lightsaber. It just wouldn't even stop. It wouldn't even know that it hit the hard shell of the coconut. It'd just keep right on sawing away. I want my coconut. This is actually kind of fun. Not as intense as listening to testimony of the president throwing ketchup bottles around the White House cafeteria because he couldn't help storm the Capitol. Okay, well there is my coconut. I don't know, but it doesn't seem to have peeled down to those nice little strings on the ones you see in the store. I suspect that if I stuck that out in the sun for a couple of days, it would turn brown and look like the ones you get in the store. I don't know that I want to do that. Yeah, there's our nice little monkey face. I am tempted to set it out in the sun for a couple of days and see what it does. I don't know, maybe I should. Maybe I should. So, the coconut. The was coconut husk. It is the next day, and as you can see, the pulp has dried out to a nice hard finish. It rained really hard, so I don't know how much that affected it. I'm sure if I let it dry out more, it would turn that really dark brown that is characteristic for coconut shells. The ones you buy in the store, but it's been my experience that fruit you buy in the store is substandard because, you know, it's been drying out in warehouses forever. Anyway, the bottom line is I'm going to open it now. Normally, I would drill a hole in one of the little monkey eyes, and then I'd pour the coconut milk out through those before, and then just smack it with a hammer and shatter it and peel the meat off of the shattered pieces. However, I think I'm going to try and make some bowls out of this. Scribe a line on there. Okay, there's my cut line. Might do it. Oh my word. I got most of the way through the meat, I think. Oh, there's a hard spot. Okay. That went all the way in, I think. That one's going to leak if I flip it over. So I got it. Yeah, that's all the way in. I can put the knife clear in. Yeah, I'm clear into the meat all the way around, but I'm starting to get coconut milk leaking out. Let's see, I got a bowl here to dump it into. Dump it into there. Let's make the biggest mess possible. There we go. Oh, that does look good. Okay, so there are my balls. Now here is one I made earlier out of a baby coconut. I cut it in half. I wanted to show you the cut surface. It looked like these, only with the husk on when I first cut into it. By the next day, that's what it looked like. The husk had dried out and squished the coconut shell, which, because it was a baby, was still soft. It had collapsed inward like that. So let's see if I can get a little bit of meat out of here. Ooh, that meat is really soft. Oh boy, I think I could just scoop that out with a spoon. Wow. Has a very, very mild flavor. Yeah, I can just scoop that out, scoop out pieces with the spoon. Just kind of cutting this out, kind of like you would with an avocado. I mean, it's quite a bit harder to do than an avocado, but it's nowhere near as hard as it would be if this were a dried out store-bought coconut. Maybe it's a question of not being as ripe. I thought that was fully ripe, but I can just push the spoon right down to the bottom there, a little bit at a time, get that whole thing to come out. Look at that. Eat the pieces, yeah. This, however, would be very easy to eat long term, where a real the stuff out of the brown coconuts, if you will, you get tired of after a while. You feel like it's just really too heavy. Okay, there it is after I got the other side cleaned up. There are my 2 coconut bowls. Hey, they don't nestle very well. So there you have it. There's husking and peeling and drying and cutting open a fresh coconut off the tree. You know that they do that in movies, but ladies, I could definitely see where that would be really uncomfortable. Those are sharp.